Across all boundaries, gender, age, marital status, education, religion, race, and ethnicity, this is the time frame that most of us work within. 1 out of every 6 people has had hepatitis, urethritis, PID, or syphilis, and these diseases are much more likely to be transmitted from person to person than HIV. A reputable research study found that most of the men they interviewed have experienced performance failure. More than 44% of men and women initiate sex as often as their partners. Unfortunately, that means that at least half of us are less than equal in the bedroom. About 36% of American men and women have sex a few times a month. While a few may sound vague, it means something like not every week, but not just twice a year either. About 70% of Americans make love for 15 minutes to 1 hour. Maybe because there's a 45-minute leeway? Who knows? Things men want women to know about sex. Men think about sex a lot, but nowhere near as much as once every 7 seconds. The myth that men think about sex every 7 seconds has been around for ages, but lads don't think about sex 8,228 times a day. A study shows that it's more like 19 times a day, a much more manageable figure. Men do actually care about the size of their penis, no matter what you say. We know it doesn't matter. But loads of men still think about their size, and, according to one extensive survey, 45% of men would like theirs to be bigger. This is probably the reason why those miraculous penis-lengthening emails exist in the first place. Even when men are in a relationship, men still take care of themselves. The Irish Times Sex Survey this year showed that of males in a relationship, 22% masturbate every day, and 48% do so more than once a week. When alcohol is consumed, standing to attention might be hard. It's nobody's fault. The little guy just won't work sometimes. If men are lucky enough to receive a blowjob, teeth are their greatest fear. Nothing else matters, just avoiding any hint of accidental teeth on their sensitive area is a must for all concerned. Usually touching of the balls at any stage of the process will be welcomed. Be gentle, but don't be scared of them. Think of them as 2 distinguished old friends that need to be handled with love and care. Nipples aren't really the go-to spot for them. A 2006 university study showed that women and men have very different responses to nipple play. 82% of women reported that it enhanced their sexual arousal, but only 52% of men said the same. Morningwood is pretty much a constant, but it's not even sexual. That erection is just there when men wake up. It doesn't actually mean anything about sex, despite it really looking like it does. Some lads really care about how tidy you are down there, and some don't care at all. A Women's Health magazine study in the US asked over 500 college-aged lads what they thought about the whole pubic region. 60% of those surveyed preferred a lady to have no hair at all, while the rest had different tastes or just didn't care at all. For some guys, they really have a preference. But it's a two-way street, of course. Men will often have an overwhelming urge to fall asleep straight after, but it's natural. Men's brains are programmed to shut down once the deed is done, according to scientists working at the coal face of orgasm studies. This isn't a slight on our excitement to cuddle you or anything else. We will usually stay awake, of course, but a few minutes to compose ourselves might be needed. Women who do not suck their man's private parts, their voices are sweeter and fresher than those women who did. What is the risk of sucking penis? The chances of HIV being passed on during fellatio are low, but it can sometimes happen. On the other hand, several sexually transmitted diseases, including chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, syphilis, genital warts, HPV, and hepatitis B, can be passed on when either your penis is sucked or you suck someone else's penis. Even without the exchange of body fluids, many sexually transmitted diseases can be passed on during close or intimate contact. You could use a condom during oral sex to reduce this risk, but you can't completely eliminate the risk. Scientists characterize the risk of HIV transmission through fellatio as far lower than the risk from anal or vaginal sex. But the risk is not as low as zero. Sucking the penis of a man who has HIV, with ejaculation in the mouth, is an activity that may occasionally involve HIV transmission. Other forms of oral sex, including cunnilingus, are extremely low risk for HIV. When sucking a penis, the risk of HIV transmission rises if there are bleeding gums, oral ulcers, genital sores, or other sexually transmitted diseases. It's important to have regular checkups for sexually transmitted diseases, especially if you've had several sexual partners since you were last tested. If you're feeling anxious about a recent sexual encounter that may have exposed you to HIV, the best way to deal with the issue is by taking an HIV test. The duration of an orgasm tends to decrease as a person ages. After a man experiences an orgasm, there is a refractory period when they can't have another orgasm, although some men can experience multiple orgasms. The recharge time depends on age, sexual partner, and sexual experience. In one study, 85% of men reported that their partner had an orgasm. However, only 64% of their female partners reported experiencing an orgasm, creating what some sexologists call an orgasm gap. Multiple factors influence exactly how long it will last, including age, period of sexual abstinence, type of sexual stimulation, and whether the orgasm is from masturbation or intercourse. Approximately 15 to 20% of American women have never had an orgasm. While the time it takes to reach orgasm is different for different people, the length of the orgasm itself is more similar. In one study, women's orgasms lasted 18 seconds on average, and men's orgasms lasted about 22 seconds. According to Shape magazine, women want foreplay to last 19 minutes. While men actually devote about 11 minutes to foreplay, they estimate it at 13 minutes. A recent Australian study found that most women are more aroused by the idea of foreplay than sex itself. Any act that creates and enhances sexual desire in a sexual partner, including kissing, touching, embracing, talking, and teasing, may constitute foreplay. Its definition is flexible and depends on individual sexual preferences and beliefs. People who experience orgasms often look like they are pain. In fact, two of the brain regions that are activated by pain are also activated during orgasm, perhaps accounting for the curious similarity of facial expressions. Scientists are unsure how the brain distinguishes between pain and pleasure. Non-genital orgasms have been reported by people who are under the influence of psychedelic drugs. Orgasms have been reported by stimulation after male-to-female or female-to-male transsexual surgery. One man reported 6 successive orgasms, with decreasing volume of semen in less than 40 minutes. According to Men's Health, foreplay is to sex what stretching is to a workout, easy to skip, but essential for great results. For many women, foreplay is essential to orgasm. Only 30% of women are able to reach orgasm through intercourse alone. Foreplay is not just about bodies. A person can create a more sensual experience by arranging a home or an apartment with sensual colors, flowers, candles, and music. In a survey of 40,000 men, 90% of the respondents said the thing they found the sexiest was when a woman takes sexual initiative. Almost 75% agreed that a woman is most unattractive when she wears heavy makeup. A study in the Journal of Sex Research found that 100% of women and 95% of men polled consider touching as the number one way they know their partner wants to have sex. Sex toys are banned in some states, such as Alabama. Flirting is banned in San Antonio, Texas. Oral sex is banned in Indiana. And sleeping naked is illegal in Minnesota. The U.S. has more laws regulating sexual behavior than all the European countries combined. Men who help with housework also tend to have more sex. According to the American Sociological Association, found that the most mind-blowing sex typically comes with being in love with your partner. While women typically require a more prolonged period of stimulation before an orgasm, often 20 minutes, some women can have an orgasm within 30 seconds of self-stimulation. By contrast, parts of Africa view oral sex to be highly unnatural, and many religions consider oral sex as sinful. Some cultures see oral sex as a natural part of sexual arousal and foreplay. Other cultures see it as horribly disgusting or morally wrong. Specifically, in much of the Western world, industrialized parts of Asia, and in islands of the South Pacific, oral sex is common. Icelanders are the most likely to use vibrators, 52%, during foreplay, followed by the British, 49%, and Norwegians, 35%. In many countries, people are increasingly using sex toys, such as pornography, and vibrators during foreplay. Most of the nerve endings that contribute to the female orgasm are on the surface of the vulva and do not require penetration whatsoever to be stimulated to orgasm. Studies have shown that orgasms can make women more confident, reductive, and creative. Wearing high heels can negatively affect a woman's orgasm. Women can get pregnant 5 to 8 days after having sex. Clitoris grows throughout a woman's lifetime. The clitoris actually has a pretty similar anatomy to a penis, with glands, a foreskin, and a shaft. Sensation started in the clitoris can spread across the pelvic area, affecting about 15,000 other nerve endings. Birth control pills dampen the libido. The clitoris doesn't play a direct role in human reproduction, it's just there to make us feel good. The pulsations a woman feels during orgasm are actually her uterus trying to gather sperm. A clitoris is the only part of the human body that never ages. The world's largest recorded penis belongs to 41-year-old New Yorker Jonah Falcon, whose appendage measures 9.5 inches flaccid and 13.5 inches erect. If you're struggling to reach orgasm, using lube might help. The impulse to ejaculate comes from the spinal cord, no brain is needed. It has been shown that when you reach orgasm, the area behind your left eye, known as the lateral orbitofrontal cortex, shuts down. The average male orgasm lasts 6 seconds, the men and women often prefer. If you can't talk about sex after 60, you'll probably stop having it. The reason why lots of women over 60 report highly satisfying sex is because sex moves away from intercourse and becomes more focused on foreplay. This is a great thing for most women. Research has shown conclusively that if you want to have a happy sex life, this trumps menopause, hormones, and aging every time. In other words, if you want to have great sex until you're 90, you will. You're probably with the wrong person if you don't want to have sex with your partner anymore. Sex stops in relationships for many reasons. For some women, a natural decline in their sex drive, combined with painful postmenopausal sex, makes them perfectly happy to wave it farewell. When aroused, the vagina can grow vertically up to 200, thanks to its unique muscles. The clitoris has at least twice as many nerve endings as the glans. Vagina means sheath in Latin and can be translated as sword bearer. Muscular spines surrounding the vagina allow it to stretch by at least 200% during labor. Women who do not suck their man's private parts, their voices are sweeter and fresher than those women who did. Pubic hair grows slower than head hair and has a longer resting cycle. Female orgasm is divided into G-spot, vagina, and clitoris, with the possibility of multiple orgasms. Many men may not know where the clitoris is. The average unaroused vaginal length is between 2.5 and 3.0 centimeters wide and 3.5 centimeters long. Vaginal walls have grooves formed by folds, allowing continuous stretching. Some women may develop allergies to seminal plasma proteins, causing itching and swelling. Vaginal secretions lubricate but differ from the lubrication during sex. The average vaginal discharge produced in less than 8 hours weighs 1.55 g. While vulvas differ, most vaginas look similar. About 17% of women aged 18 to 50 experience vaginal dryness during sex. Menstruation used to align with the new moon, ovulation with the full moon. The vagina has its own unique smell influenced by diet, bacteria, sweat, and hygiene. Sex helps keep the vagina moist and soft, especially after estrogen levels drop. Vaginal farting is normal during intercourse or dilation. The first 5 centimeters of the vagina are the most sensitive with the most nerve endings. The pH of the vagina is 4, like tomatoes, wine, and beer. Giving birth does not permanently enlarge the vagina, it's a potential space. The vagina starts at the vulvar opening and ends at the cervix. Every position, from missionary to reverse cowgirl, has its benefits. However, it's a doggy style that continues to smash the charts and has even previously been voted as the UK's favourite sexual position. And as if being in the best position to hit the G-spot isn't reason enough for you to dig the doggy style. Here are 2 more reasons why doggy style is the best sexual position. There is a bit more about that, the G-spot. Your partner's penis is naturally tilted slightly downwards, and in the doggy style, it rubs up against the G-spot as a result. So, more fun. You're more in control than you think, and there are plenty of fun variations and nifty tricks to give you control over the depth of penetration, including lowering yourself onto your elbows to increase it or reducing the arch in your back to decrease it. Nearly 88% of women reported experiencing more pleasure during penetration by angling, which involves rotating, raising or lowering the pelvis or hips during penetration as it increases their pleasure. Be careful when you hear something about a woman. Rumors always come from a man who can't have her. Most people who understand sarcasm are good at reading the minds of others. Women who read novels have 74% more sex with their loved ones than those who dislike the genre. The semen contains dopamine, which promotes the development of dings and love. 80% of women have a left breast larger than the right. 35% of people who are looking for dating for sexual relations on the internet are married. According to psychologists, during sex, you can burn up to 600 calories or more, depending on the session intensity. Women like to be kissed on the neck since more than 76% of them rated the neck area as intensely erotic. A study revealed that women over 30 prefer to experiment with sex from the doggy position. Women can experience an orgasm in their dream, just like men. Red-headed women have more odds of having sex more often. If a woman really likes a man, she will casually try to sit closer to him than the others. According to surveys, 80% of women get hot when men suck their fingers. 92% of single parents would rather date other single parents. Women who were direct, honest, and affectionate mostly stay alone. A study confirmed that 90%